I've had Chainsaw Man on the brain. With part 2 on my reading list and the Reze movie in the distance, it's something I've had in the corner of my eye for a while now. In particular, Reze and the Bomb Girl arc, as well as, by extension, Denji and Reze's relationship in general. While the tragic nature of their dynamic and Reze's role in the story overall has been sitting in the back of my skull, the news of an animated adaptation of my favourite arc in part 1 got me thinking more about video in a less hypothetical way. And because I need something to word vomit about, lest I go completely mad, let's talk about Chainsaw Man, Denji, Reze, and why I love them so much. Warning! This video will contain discussion of the Reze and Bomb Girl arc as well as part 1 in general. Fair warning for both spoilers as well as gore, horror, character death, and talks of non-detailed abuse. Thank you. Chainsaw Man is the story of a young teenage boy who befriends a small devil by the name of Pochita. The young boy is called Denji and meets Pochita at his father's grave, who left Denji with nothing but his debts and financial burdens. As such, dooming Denji into a life paying off said debts to the Yakuza. Denji spends his time taking on odd jobs and killing weak devils with the help of Pochita to pay off what his father owed, selling off body parts, his eye, a kidney, etc. Barely keeping him and Pochita alive with no money, no food, and the only sense of shelter being a shed, he tells Pochita all he wants is a normal life. To eat good food, go on a date, meet a pretty girl. He even says that if he dies, Pochita can use his corpse or drink his blood, as blood helps devils heal. In this world, creatures called devils are commonplace, to the point where the government has something called the Public Safety Devil Hunters. Devils in Chainsaw Man are born with names, concepts they are attached to and powered by. Devils have the ability to make contracts, a mutual exchange between a devil and a human, something binding to both parties. Devils are heavily tied to how they are perceived as they feed on the fear others have of that concept, the darkness devil being the primal fear of the dark, or the blood fiend being the fear of the broad concept of blood. Fiends are devils who have to possess a corpse as a last resort to survive. Unlike devils, fiends cannot make contracts and are usually weaker than most devils. Then you have hybrids. Denji ends up getting backstabbed by the debt collector and is murdered as payment in a devil contract the Yakuza made with the zombie devil. Denji laments his short and pitiful life, as he's literally thrown away into the rubbish. Instead of dying though, Pochita saves him, having grown to love Denji and wants to see his dreams become true. Pochita becomes Denji's heart. In exchange, Denji must live and have a good life. He must show Pochita his dreams and live them, and a contract is formed. This creates Chainsaw Man, a devil-human hybrid who upon waking up, slaughters the Yakuza and cuts the zombie devil in half, laughing that if the Yakuza is gone, he can say bye to his debt. This then leads into him being found by public safety and coerced into working for them as a devil hunter by Miss Makima, under threat of being put down like a dog. Denji, who has never experienced kindness, let alone basic human decency, jumps at the opportunity of making money and getting to know the pretty woman who just held him like he's always wanted. He falls into place as a devil hunter, making friends, losing friends, killing devils, getting covered in gore, almost assassinated over his heart. Alright, that. Devils can't really be killed, so to speak. You can kill a devil, but you can't kill a concept or the name of it. If a devil is killed, it will be reincarnated either in hell or on Earth. Now, the thing is, Pochita, aka the Chainsaw Devil, has the unique ability to not only devour devils, but their very concept, effectively erasing them and the memory of them. For example, Pochita is said to have devoured the nuclear weapons devil, and taken a large chunk out of War Devil, removing the idea altogether for the most part and completely in the case of nuclear weapons. If you remember what I said earlier about devils, you'll realize the horrifying implications of this. As such, different world governments and independent crime factions are all gunning for Denji's head. Well, hot. Now, with the basic context of the story so far, let's move on to the Bomb Girl arc, and why it's brilliant. It begins with Denji on Cloud 9 after a date with Makima, the woman who holds his affections, thinking of her as it begins to rain, to which Denji runs for cover, hiding inside a telephone booth. Denji is surprised when a girl around his age walks in. She laughs, though it soon turns into sobbing as she says Denji's face reminds her of her dead dog. Denji handles this like any normal person would, vomits up a flower and gifts it to her. Ta-da! Romance. This actually seems to work on the girl, as she smiles and invites him to hang out at the cafe she works at once the rain stops. As she clocks into work, she finds Denji already waiting inside. They flirt as Denji drinks coffee, which he hates. He laughs and we are told her name, Reze. And the chapter ends with Denji realizing he is attracted to this odd blushing girl. Working at a shitty cafe with a cheapskate boss, Reze is a young, cheerful girl. A bit of a jokester and likes teasing people. Denji stops by the cafe every day of that week, despite not enjoying coffee and the food not being very good. Though while Denji was homeless, he would eat scabs for the nutrition, so maybe that's not saying much. This strange but sweet girl keeps him coming back. While Denji worries where his heart lies, whether with Makima or not, he brings up that he can't read or write, but would have liked going to school. At least with Reze, only knowing a single lewd word in Japanese. To which Reze laughs and invites him to night school with her. Denji accepts while flustered. Reze is pleased by this and moves closer to him. Reze is an interesting character in context of the story so far. A normal girl outside the world of devils and gore. Someone who sees Denji as what he is, a teenage boy. She's delighted by Denji and his odd but endearing nature. Something Denji comments on himself. Though this only makes his feelings with Makima more complicated, as he has promised himself to her and wants to be her boyfriend. But his growing feelings for Reze leave him conflicted and confused. They walk through the school together, late at night, alone with each other. Reze pouts that she's scared and asks to hold Denji's hand, to which he agrees. Though in his head, he says sorry to Makima for his heart's betrayal, saying his body is just moving on its own. Though it's clear Denji has fallen for Reze by this point, he's uncomfortable with the idea of his heart not belonging to Makima, his own abuse distorting his perception of love. Makima's grooming partly to blame for his guilt. They spend the night together, walking through the halls. Reze teaches Denji some basic maths, and the spelling of a couple of words. They laugh as Reze quizzes him on silly things. Denji says he's basically got the idea now. This makes Reze pause and ask if Denji has really never been to school, not even primary school. Reze looks concerned and confused and comments that she finds that weird, and how it's probably kind of bad that a child is working such a dangerous job. Children should be going to school, playing with friends, being children. She questions if the devil hunters are really the good guys and if Denji is safe there. Denji denies this, calling it a great place, praising it for giving him 3 meals a day and even a bed. Reze grows quiet and says that's the bare minimum for a Japanese person, for a human being. And Denji is a human being, despite his new powers and the world he finds himself in. He's just a scared, lonely little boy who is being given scraps and because he's never known better, believes them to be steaks. This scene is interesting for Reze because of how expressive her design is. She's always blushing heavily, grinning and laughing until tears. Large eyes that she always keeps on Denji. She's a woman that seemingly wears her heart on her sleeve, which makes the framing of this moment odd. These panels keep Reze's face obscured, her back turned from the reader, eyes and cheeks covered by dark hair. Her sweet smile turned into a slight frown. It's interesting, but let's put a pin in that for later. It'll be important. Denji grows uncomfortable with the topic, saying his head is starting to hurt from thinking too much. Reze, her face still covered, tells Denji they'll cool it down for a bit. They find themselves outside the school, Reze leading Denji to the swimming pool. Denji says he can't swim very well, to which Reze says she'll teach him and starts taking off her clothes, making Denji have a gay panic. Wait, no, the opposite of that one actually. The gay one comes later. Reze strips down completely and jumps in the water, playfully teasing Denji into jumping in with her. Denji struggles to find his feet for a moment. Reze takes his hands and reminds him to breathe. Everything Denji doesn't know or can't do, Reze promises to teach him. As they swim together, it begins to rain. I'd like to make a note on Denji's behavior here. Denji is a child starved of affection and an abuse survivor, repeatedly taken advantage of by people in power. Whether tricked into working for scraps, or placed into unsafe environments as a means to an end. Denji never instigates any sexual or intimate acts with anybody through Part 1 of Chainsaw Man on his own. Himino, an older drunk woman, kisses him, and then tries to sleep with him. Denji refuses and sleeps on the floor. Makima holds the idea of dates and a relationship over Denji's head as a form of manipulation, which Denji cannot consent to because he's 16. It's Reze's idea to go skinny dipping. The one time he does, he's confused because it didn't feel how he thought it would. Denji is a teenager who was groomed by an adult woman in power, who uses sexuality and femininity against him, dressing more traditionally feminine and removing her large work coat in the company of Denji. Makima uses her gender against the men in her life to get what she wants, and Denji is easy prey. Denji's complicated and often violent relationship with women makes his dynamic with Reze an interesting outlier. He's a different world, a world Denji doesn't understand, and doesn't know. He doesn't understand Reze, but he sees her, and she sees him. This next scene acts as a bridge between the two main stories of this arc. Another devil hunter and friend of Denji, Aki, and his current work partner, the Angel Devil, watch the rain undercover, just like Reze and Denji. Here, we're met with a question, and told the story of the fable of the city mouse and the country mouse. Angel explains that the country mouse lives in peace and safety, but lives a dull life void of the food of the city. The city mouse enjoys the food and fun of the city, but lives with great risk of death or being caught. Angel believes the country mouse has the better life, and says Makima forced him into becoming a city mouse, though his heart remains with a simpler life. Aki doesn't know what to say. Denji believes the city mouse has it best, to which Reze disagrees and claims a life of peace is better. Denji argues good food and city life is more fun. Denji turns away from us again, and asks if Denji is okay with a dangerous life as long as it's fun and he has good food. Denji says yes. She smiles softly, though we don't see the rest of her face, and she says they'll go to a nearby festival together the next day. Reze then runs off to the bathroom, leaving Denji staring off into the rain and commenting how crazy cute she is. Reze walks through the halls in the dark when a strange man with a knife steps out and says he'll go to the bathroom with her. It's a basic slasher movie moment, where a woman is being stalked and threatened. This man is a serial killer working for the Typhoon Devil, with the goal of stealing the heart of Chainsaw Man. He chases Reze through the school as she runs to the roof. When she hits a dead end, she demands the man just stop it and tell her who he is. He simply says she's bait and that he wishes to skin her as a means to get Chainsaw Man to do what he wants. He moves to attack Reze, causing her to scream drowned out from the rain. It's a classic setup. Until it isn't so classic. Reze's scream is cut off as she jumps at the man, quickly disarming him with a blank face, twisting around until he gets him in a chokehold. He falls and he tries to break her hold but can't. As he chokes, Reze smiles and begins to sing, a Russian song called Jane Fell Asleep in Church. She sings of mundane things, the jarring contrast between Reze's distant smile and the cold and suffocating atmosphere of these pages. A sudden and violent action, something that doesn't quite reach her eyes as her prey uselessly struggles. As her song comes to an end, the man falls dead. And this changes everything. Reze no longer represents normal life, she's become something completely unknown. She's not only a skilled fighter who knows the exact amount of time to choke somebody to death, she holds a level of power in the devil world, as seen when the Typhoon Devil comments that it didn't know Lady Reze was there. She looks distant as she simply tells it to pay for now, and remove the corpse, returning to Denji with a grin and a blush. It makes what we know of her character so far unreliable and builds a feeling of dread at what the viewer knows and what Denji doesn't. We jump to their date at the festival, where they spend the day playing games, eating. Denji grins and blushes throughout, until they find themselves away from the crowd, a quiet place to watch the fireworks. They stand together for a moment before Reze speaks. Her back turned away from us again, her expression unknown as she confesses that she's been thinking about Denji's situation. How he's a child and yet he can't go to school and is being forced to fight against monsters and devils. A country shouldn't allow such a thing to happen. We finally see her face as she asks Denji to run away with her. She tells him she'll keep him safe and that she knows somebody who can help free him. He asks why, and she says because she likes him. Denji grows upset and says that he's finally getting somewhere in work, and asks if he can still see her even while he works as a devil hunter. Again, she hides her face and says she understands, before kissing him under the sky of fireworks. It's gorgeous, and the moment simply hangs in the air, before Denji falls to the ground, looking up to Reze, who holds his bitten-off tongue on her own with a gleeful and sadistic expression on her face. She pulls the pin on her choker and her head explodes. As such, Reze is revealed to be Bomb, the supposed partner of the Gun Devil. Reze is a spy from the Soviet Union sent to capture the Chainsaw Man heart and kill Denji. She mirrors Denji. She was a child kidnapped and experimented on, a child soldier designed to die for their country. It's unclear if at this point whether Reze truly wanted to run away with Denji, whether this all depended on his reply. Regardless, this sets off a chain reaction, bringing both plot points together. As Denji is rescued by the Shark Fiend and brought back to the Devil Hunters, both Aki and Angel pick him up and start running, feeding Denji blood to revive him, while Reze slaughters those in her way, offering the heads of her victims as a demonstration of power. This fight symbolizes the relationship between the characters and choice, as well as death. While Denji and Reze brutalize each other, ripping each other limb from limb, Angel looks down to a dying woman, who reaches for him, a twisted mirror of an angel. He takes her now still hand and says it's okay, because she'll go to heaven, and apologizes for how he's going to use her blood. Angel gives Denji a choice. Let Reze take his heart without struggle so more don't die, or kill her. Denji and Reze are locked in a battle that neither can truly win, without choice nor their own agency. So when Denji chains himself to Reze, and they fall into the ocean together, he says she shouldn't have taught him how to swim, and they go down together. Reze finds herself alive on the beach, dressed in Denji's shirt and revived with him by her side. Denji couldn't bring himself to kill her, nor hand her in, because he really does like her despite everything. He mirrors their first kiss and asks her to run away with him, to which she breaks his neck and tells him to wise up, and yet leaves him alive and runs away without finishing the job. Denji still calls out that he'll be waiting at the cafe for her. As Denji waits for her, we see her at the train station, but she stops when she's given a flower. A parody of Denji's gift to her. Reze watches her train leaves and finds herself back outside that damn cafe. Before she can make it inside, she's ambushed by Mokima and the Angel Devil, and murdered where she stands before she can even make it to the door. She lies in a pool of her own blood and wonders why she let him live, and confesses she never got to go to school either. Reze as a character is incredibly complicated, but we don't know where the lies and truth begin to blur. It's almost impossible to get an accurate read of her motivations, as most of her story is told by others, and it's left ambiguous what was even real. I believe that she's the most honest when her face is obscured, her own feelings slipping through as her careful mask is unseen by the eyes of the reader. When she talks about Denji's situation, she makes comments about the country and Japan. How Denji getting a bed and food is the bare minimum for a Japanese person, or how a country shouldn't allow such abuse to take place. It sounds personal and targeted. It changes the meaning of previously unassuming wording in context to her training and conditioning by the Russian government, and it serves as a narrative parallel against Denji's own entrapment, though unlike Denji, she sees the cruelty of this. Both Denji and Reze are children. Though Reze's age is unknown based on her design and context clues, I say she can't be much older than him. While Reze represents the moral and social dilemma of this arc, she also represents humanity and personhood. How those in power depersonalize and dehumanize individuals for the sake of personal interest. Once her true nature is revealed, Reze is purposefully dehumanized throughout the main fight. From her literally destroying her human body, and throwing her human head at the Devil Hunters as a distraction and weapon, she returns to our view as Bomb, human features stripped away from her, her head literally becoming an object, being referred to as an it. She's called a monster by outsiders, in much the same way devils are mindless creatures until they're useful. Though Denji only ever refers to her as Reze, and in turn, she calls him Denji. Even while they're killing each other, they still see each other. Chainsaw Man is fundamentally a story about abuse of power and the loneliness of the human condition. How a life under the boot of capitalism makes people lonely and desperate. How far would you go for companionship? It's a story of empathy and understanding. And that's the true tragedy of Reze. It's why she lets him go. Because despite the lies, she really did like Denji. The Bomb Girl arc is a critique of the predatory system and the nuanced web of politics that failed these two young children. Are any of you familiar with the story of Orpheus and Eurydice? I promise I'm going somewhere with this. It's a Greek tragedy about two lovers. Orpheus returns to his ladylove Eurydice, only for her to die shortly after. Heartbroken, he ventures into the underworld in hopes of reuniting with Eurydice. There's a really good musical about it, called Hadestown. Go watch it. Anyway, Orpheus wins himself the favour of Hades and Persephone with his music, with the condition that as he returns with Eurydice, he can't look at her. Though Orpheus's own paranoia and lack of faith cause him to look behind him, dooming Eurydice to her second and final death. Despite their deep love for one another, their devotion and faith, it's ultimately Orpheus' lack of trust that caused the tragedy. It's a story of hope in a hopeless situation, even if it gets snatched away from you before it's even in reach. It becomes nihilistic the more the story is told, with adaptations like Hadestown exploring capitalism and poverty through the gods and lost love. Both Orpheus and Reze are undone by doubt, each despite their resolve. Orpheus's to reunite with Eurydice, Reze's to escape. They both fail in the end, because they both look back. Reze's story works in much the same way, giving substance and form to Denji's experiences, which he connects to and empathizes. But what they both long for is unreachable. It's beautifully gothic, looking into your own face as you're killing it. Something, someone you could have been, or could still become. Running from safety into something new or unknown. Both characters are deceiving in their words and actions, even to themselves. Reze claiming to hold no real interest in Denji. But it's clear she's lying, it's what makes her go back, it's what makes her hesitate, and it's what makes Denji wait for her. In turn, Denji lies to himself all throughout the story, even in terms of Reze and her impact. From what I know about the manga at present from friends that are caught up, Mizzy, I promise I'll catch up soon, I miss Reze, okay? Please tell me she comes back. Denji has largely moved on from his time with Reze, but between hybrids being basically immortal and the return of another fan-favourite character, Reze could be on the horizon. The Reze arc fills me with such grief, because it's not only mourning what could have been, but what was. It's a plot point just filled to the brim with potential, symbolism, and meaningful character work. These two have my heart, and I can't wait to see how the Reze movie plays out.